because Indira Gandhi that time used to say Jai Hind. So our parents also came to know why you are saying Jai Jagat when our Prime Minister is saying Jai Hind. We said Jai Hind, Jai Jagat means Jai Hind also. You know, why not then say Jai UP, because we live in UP. And why UP? We in Lucknow, so Jai Lucknow. And in Lucknow also we station road, so then Jai says Jai station road. So we have, in Jai Jagat, we means inclusion of all these things. So this is the right thing. So parents agreed, and the parents and teachers and even the foreigners who come to our city and our children say Jai Jagat, they also say Jai Jagat. They also like it. Hail the world, victory to the world. So my dear friends, our aim is, what our children learn from here is to stop war in the world. And the weapon will be Jai Jagat, good of the world. My dear, there is so much to talk about, but I will not take much of your precious time. Jai Jagat.
Thank you, Badi Didi. And she's given us the perfect opening, because coming up next is a performance by student animators of CMS Aliganj Campus 1. And many of you have heard about the rich cultural heritage of the city. And a very famous tradition here is Dastan Goi, where you have Dastan Goes who come and who tell you a tale in their own way. They try to recreate an atmosphere. And here we have a tale of the city of Lucknow. Many of you, the languages of Lucknow, so it's a mixture of Hindi, English, Urdu. So I believe we would need a few people, sitting with a few people to explain that what exactly is going on. And but I believe the spirit will permeate and you will understand that what is to take place. They will try to tell you, as Mrs. Gandhi just said, how the city has made such a beautiful difference to the lives of the people live. So without any further delay, it's over to Dastan Go Ayan and Dastan Go Sriya.
बस ये शफ़ाक़ किरदार ही तो साथ लेकर जाना है।
आज जब इस फरवरी की चुलबुली सुबह गुलाबी जाड़े की भीनी महक सराबोर कर रही है, आप सब अजीज मेहमान हम नाचीजों का भी सलाम कबूल फरमाएं।
जनाब, आप खुशकिस्मत हैं, आपने इस अमन चैन की शहर की फिजा में आज आंखें खोली हैं।
बड़ा कमाल का है ये हमारा शहरे लखनऊ, अपने नाम में ही कितना इतिहास समेटे हुए।
लक्ष्मण वाटिका, लक्ष्मणपुरी, लखनपुरी, फिर लखनऊ।
बच्चे तो आज भी इसे पुकारते हैं नखलऊ। तो चलिए रूबरू कराते हैं आपको इसकी खूबसूरत शख्सियत से।
वैसे अब तो बड़ा मशहूर हो चला है किस्से कहानियां रेडियो टीवी पर।
कोई हजरतगंज की चाट की चटकारों पर चर्चा करता तो कोई चिकनकारी का,
कहीं अंग्रेजों की लाट के चर्चे तो कहीं इमामबाड़े की नक्काशी पर महफिल।
और तो और हम लखनऊ वाले खाने पीने के इतने शौकीन कि रामायण के अखंड पाठ से पूरे 24 घंटे लखनऊ की हर गली चौक चौबारे पर बिकने वाले
समोसे, गोलगप्पे,
मलाई मक्खन,
रेवड़ी, बिरयानी, कुलचे, नहारी,
रबड़ी और तमाम क्या क्या
कभी ना खत्म होने वाले लजीज खाने पर मुशायरा कर सकते हैं।
आप अखबार उठाएंगे तो पढ़ेंगे।
Oh, I have heard so much about this city. The food is awesome. I was able to eat kebabs. I even packed some for my friends. Chicken clothes are awesome. I went all out shopping.
अब बंदा चाहे मुंबई से हो या मोरक्को से,
कबाब तो खाएगा ही,
बिरयानी के गुण तो गाएगा ही।
चिकन तो खरीदेगा ही।
लखनऊ की पहले आप वाली तहजीब का इस्तकबाल करेगा ही।
ये फैशन है।
पर लखनऊ इन सब से ऊपर, शहरों के आसमान का एक चमकता सितारा। कुछ अजीब सी कशिश है इसकी आबो हवा में, छूते ही अपना बना लेती है।
किसी अजनबी को भी अपने आगोश में बसा लेती है। और कमाल तो ये है जनाब, इतने एयर पोल्यूशन, गिरते एयर क्वालिटी इंडेक्स के बावजूद इसके लोगों की गर्मजोशी, खुशमिजाजी और मेहमान नवाजी में कोई कमी नहीं आई।
तब पाक से हाथ मिलाने और बढ़कर गले लगने की कला कोई लखनऊ वालों से सीखे।
रिक्शा वाला, अखबार वाला, टैक्सी वाला, दुकानदार, सड़क पर चलता अजनबी भी ओ भैया ही कहलाएगा। मजाल है जो तू तड़ाक की बोली भी सुनाई दे, सिर्फ आप और हम के बीच ही गुफ्तगू होती है। लोग मजाक उड़ाते हैं।
जब कोई लखनऊ वाला कहता है हम आ गए, पूछते हैं
अरे हुजूर, कितनों की भीड़ साथ लाए हैं? दिख तो अकेले ही रहे हैं और सब गुमशुदा है क्या?
पर कौन समझाए इन ना समझो को कि हमारी परवरिश ही ऐसी हुई है।
अब्बा हुजूर कहते हैं मैं तो केवल बकरियां करती हैं बरखुरदार, तुम तो माशाअल्लाह इंसान के बेटे हो।
हम अकेले के लिए तो सोच ही नहीं पाते, मैं तो कहीं गले में ही अटका रहता है। इतिहास गवाह है कि
नवाब आसफुद्दौला, जिनका इमाम बाड़ा आज आप शायद घूमने भी जाएंगे, ने क्या खूब मिसाल दी थी। 1748 में लखनऊ में एक भयानक अकाल पड़ा। तब नवाब साहिब ने एक खूबसूरत तरकीब अपनाई, अपने ही मकबरे एक इमाम बाड़ा बनवाना शुरू कर दिया।
आप पूछेंगे भाई इसमें क्या कमाल था, पर हुजूर था, बहुत कमाल था। दिन भर राज की गरीब प्रजा इमाम बाड़े का ढांचा तैयार करती और रात को नवाब मियाँ अपने परिवार के ऊंचे ओहदेदारों से कह के वो ढांचा तोड़वा देते।
दिन में गरीबों की रोटी पक्की तो रात में तोड़ने का मेहनताना उन खानदानी लोगों की इज्जत पर पर्दा डाले रखता, जिनके घरों को वो अकाल खा गया था।
ऐसी विशाल सोच है हमारी बुनियाद है।
फिर हमारी आगोश का दायरा कैसे कम हो सकता है?
ऐसे ही ना जाने कितने किस्से कहानियां हैं। बड़ा हनुमान मंदिर जहां ना जाने कितने लाखों सिर रोज दहरी पर झुकते हैं। जानना चाहेंगे किसने बनवाया?
नवाब वाजिद अली शाह की दादी आलिया बेगम ने बनवाया और नवाब मोहम्मद अली शाह की बेगम राबिया ने अपनी गोद भरने पर हनुमान जी की मूर्ति को वहां प्रतिष्ठित कराया।
वहीं वाजिद अली शाह की नवाबी में एक बार मुहर्रम का 10वां दिन होली के रोज पड़ा, तो नवाब साहिब ने सुबह उठते ही अपने नुमाइंदे से पूछा,
आज सड़कों पर शोर नहीं है, ना ही रंग खेलते लोग दिख रहे हैं। तो जवाब आया कि हिंदू प्रजा ने होली ना खेलने का इरादा किया था, क्योंकि 10 मुहर्रम मातम का दिन था।
पर नवाब साहिब भी कहाँ मानने वाले थे, खुद ही आगे बढ़कर अपने हिंदू दोस्त पर रंग लगाकर होली के जश्न में शामिल हो गए। ऐसी विरासत है हमारी। 1992 में जब पूरा मुल्क नफरत की मजहबी आग में जूझ रहा था, हम लखनऊ वाले दिसंबर की गर्मी पर अपने छत पर बैठे कभी पतंग उड़ाते तो कहीं सिवई तो कहीं बिरयानी खाते।
पूरा लुत्फ उठा रहे थे कर्फ्यू का, क्योंकि हमने अपने जहन में इस अलगाव को जगह ही नहीं दी थी। हिंदू और मुसलमान लखनऊ की 2 आंखें हैं।
रोशनी किसी की भी जाए, नुकसान तो लखनऊ का ही है।
पर हुजूर, आसान नहीं है ये सब करना।
अपनी सोच के घोड़े पे समझदारी की नकेल कसनी पड़ती है।
अपने आप को उन्माद और फिरका परस्ती से बचा के चलना होता है।
अक्सर अपनी ख्वाहिशों का दमन कर पूरे जहां की भलाई का ख्याल रखना पड़ता है।
आप सोचते होंगे कि हम यूं ही अफसाना बुन रहे हैं, पर हुजूर मोहतरमा, हम सीखते हैं
अपने बड़ों से, आपसे, एक दूसरे से, अपने स्कूल से, इस खूबसूरत शहर के हर एक शख्स से।
जो आज भी तहजीब और नेक नियति पर चलने में
यकीन रखते हैं।
जिन्होंने बदलते वक्त में भी लखनऊ की गंगा जमुनी धारा पर आंच नहीं आने दी।
आप हमें जैसी तालीम देते हैं हम वैसे ही गढ़ जाते हैं।
पूछना तो हमें चाहिए।
कहाँ से लाते हैं इतना ढेर सारा प्यार हम बच्चों के लिए?
कहाँ से मिलती है आपको वह ताकत
जिससे हमारी हर मुश्किल चुटकियों में गायब हो जाती है?
कैसे साल दर साल
हमारी बदमाशियों को बर्दाश्त करते हुए हमारी जिंदगी संवार देते हैं।
मैंने पूछा था कभी अपनी एक दिल अजीज उस्तानी से, उन्होंने फरमाया,
मोहब्बत है मुझे इस शहरे अदब से, बेपनाह लगाव है इसके हर एक शख्स से, आबो हवा में घुला है जिसके अमन और प्यार, पूछता है मुझसे कह के बार बार।
ये लखनऊ की सरजमी, ये लखनऊ की सरजमी, ये लखनऊ की सरजमी, ये लखनऊ की सरजमी, ये रंग रूप का चमन, ये हुस्न इश्क का वतन, यही तो वो मकाम है जहाँ अवध की शाम है, जवां जवां हंसी हंसी, ये लखनऊ की सरजमी, ये लखनऊ की सर।
I think we need to do away with the cold and give these children, that you've understood what they have tried to tell you, that it is the city that keeps inspiring them, the beautiful relationships they have created here, which takes them forward on this march of Jai Jagat and peace we wish to establish in the world. We seriously and sincerely inspire that peace prevails everywhere, like it stays in Lucknow.
And such a wonderful performance. Next in this panel, we have the pleasure to welcome Mr. Deepak Dalal. He is the author of Wildlife Adventure Stories for Children and Adults. And today he's going to speak on perspectives of a children's author. So before I hand over the mic to sir, I would once again like to introduce him. Mr. Deepak Dalal has graduated in Bachelor of Science, Chemistry and Physics and Bachelor of Science Technology from Bombay University, and he's a chemical engineer from Washington State University. He worked as an engineer in the chemical industry from 1985 to 2000, and since 2000, he has taken to researching and writing of children's novels full-time. He has also spent considerable time visiting schools for talks on his books, environmental matters, conservation and creative writing, and his stories have a strong natural history base. The idea is to create a connection between children and wildlife. He's taught for a year in an international school in Macau, China, and he has traveled and written many children's books. He has won many awards based on his Andaman novels. He was selected to attend the Highlights Children's Writers Conference in the United States in 2003. He was honored by Sanctuary magazine in 2004 for increasing awareness of Indian children about wildlife and ecological issues and for fostering in them a love for wild places. His 2 Sahidri adventure books were shortlisted for the Vodafone Crossword Book Award for the Best Children's Book of the year 2011. He's been currently working on a dolphin adventure story set in the Arabian Sea and an illustrated series of books, the Feather Tale series for younger children. He has many titles: Vikramaditya Adventure Series, in which Ranthambore Adventure, Ladakh Adventure, the Snow Leopard Adventure, Lakshadweep Adventure. He also has the Feather Tale series, Talon the Falcon, A Flamingo in My Garden, and the Paradise Flycatcher. So welcome once again, sir.
I cannot resist his contribution to Lucknow. There is a school here in Lucknow, study hall. There, his wife, who is my teacher, Marzia Rohani, is she here? So, she is shy to stand up, I think. But she is my teacher. We were in Vardhavan as early as 1976. Can you think he's as old as I'm talking? And his wife is my teacher. Okay. So, you know what happened? In this school in Lucknow, 600 girls are being helped by Marzia Rohani, and they are children up to intermediate. They give intermediate examination, UP board, and the fund is coming because of the courtesy of his wife, Marzia Rohani, and these girls are all from the working class. बर्तन मांजना, झाड़ू लगाना, कपड़े धोना, जितने भी इस तरह के काम करके they come in the afternoon to study and they pass their intermediate examination. So I am so grateful to you, whose wife is so great. How greatest will be her husband.
Like all good Indian husbands, my wife is my teacher too, like she was for you too. Yeah, probably it's everywhere. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to talk to you today. It's a talk about wildlife, ecology, conservation. It's about global warming. It's about the creatures we're losing in the sea, deforestation. Are these things true? I'm just trying to tell you what's happening and how crucial that we do something about it. At least we're aware of what's happening in our forests and places like that. It's also about what inspires me to be a writer, the India that I love. And the India, its wildlife, its wilderness areas that got me into writing. All right, so actually this talk is an hour-long talk, but today I've been asked to cut it to half an hour, so I'm going to just try and quickly go through. How does this work? Sorry, on the right? Okay, got it. Okay, so India is defined by the Himalayas, the world's tallest mountains. My favorite area, I try and go there every year. There's so much of the Himalayas. It goes all the way from Kashmir. They go down through Uttarakhand, down through Nepal, Sikkim, Bhutan, into Arunachal. Truly wonderful mountains, the world's tallest. And imagine if we didn't have the Himalayas between India and China. Imagine the mountains weren't there. It's that great barrier that the world's tallest mountains that have kept the two nations apart. We had been very different if those mountains were not there. They've actually helped define India for what it is. India has 8,000 kilometers of coastline. And it's when you walk along this coastline, a lot of this coastline you cannot access because there are no roads going there. But if you walk along it, you'll see some incredibly beautiful parts of India. And I've done a bit of this walking, and I love our Indian coast. Kashmir, right in the middle of the Himalayas, suddenly there's a big valley out there, like the mountains stop, and it's just an incredible valley. A truly beautiful place which we have. What lies beyond the Himalayas is Tibet, right? Tibet is the land beyond the Himalayas, and parts of Tibet belong to India. This is Ladakh. It's a truly beautiful place, and Ladakh is a desert. And the reason we call it a desert is because, the reason it is a desert is because, the monsoon winds that bring rains to India, all the clouds sweep across the Indian subcontinent, and then they come to the Himalayas, the world's tallest mountains. And it is a geographical barrier they cannot cross. And all the rain happens to the south. That's why we get so much big rivers out here, the Ganges, the Brahmaputra. But beyond the Himalayas, no rain goes. And that's why Ladakh is a desert. But it's not the desert we think about, which is the warm, tropical desert, like Sahara or even our Thar Desert. It's actually a cold, frozen desert. But India luckily even has these warm, this is the Thar Desert, the regular warm tropical deserts. And this is, we have our own rainforests. Okay, India also has its very own rainforests. This is the Andaman Islands. I was, imagine trying to cross these forests by trying to walk from, just across this frame is very difficult. And so people in the Andaman Islands actually use their boats a lot along the creeks to move around. We also have the alpine forests. This is Arunachal Pradesh, one of my favorite states. This is where I live, actually. This is the Sahyadri Hills, where, the moist winds which come off the Arabian Sea, they hit our Western Ghats, and then we get the rain out there. They're truly lovely mountains. This is actually, all of us know the great stories which Rudyard Kipling wrote. The Jungle Book series, Mowgli, and all those creatures that inhabit his stories. That was all inspired here in Kanha, in Madhya Pradesh. The moist deciduous forests that exist here. And we also have the terai. Right here, where we are in Lucknow, the terai is not very far from here. It's the region which is actually just off the high Himalayas, where the rivers come hurtling down at high speed, and when they hit the flat plains, they lose their momentum and they spread. And when they spread, you get these swamps and grasslands where the Indian rhino lives. That's the terai. So I've shown you all these incredibly diverse parts of India, and some more of them. This is the Lakshadweep Islands. When you hear about coral islands, we think about the Maldives, or we think about Australia and the Great Barrier Reef, or in the Pacific Islands out there. But we have our own, very own coral islands. In fact, if you think about the Maldives and the Lakshadweep Islands are one same chain. They're all part of the same chain of islands. The upper 27 islands are our Lakshadweep Islands, and the lower 1,000 odd are the Maldives. So we have these amazing islands. We also have places like this where the forest comes straight down to the sea, tropical forest all the way to the sea. When we lived on this island called Interview Island in the Andaman Islands, there were only 3 of us. Or actually there were 4. And the only footprints we saw on these shores was turtles, birds, maybe this occasional snake, and there were wild elephants here, so there were some, but that was it. So India, if you look at it, it's not that big a country. They call it a subcontinent. But if you compare it to Saudi Arabia, it's probably the same size. Or you compare it to the Sahara, which is further to the west, we're 1/3 the size of the Sahara, probably the same size as Saudi Arabia. But both those are they're just desert, one geography. India, I showed you the terai, I showed you the Himalayas, the land beyond the Himalayas, the coral islands, the Andaman Islands, the tropical forests. We got such an amazing array of geography just in this one little country of ours. Just quickly going to some of the animals that we have out here, which, I'm showing you, none of us are really aware of these animals. This is what we call a gibbon. A gibbon is found in the northeast forests of Arunachal and Sikkim, and it basically belongs to the same family, which, like, you have the chimpanzees, the orangutans, even the wild apes of Africa. So it belongs to that same family, so a gibbon. This is what we call a clouded leopard. It's an arboreal animal in the sense it lives its lives all in the trees. It rarely comes down. This is hornbill. Okay, we have some incredible hornbills out here. This is the rufous-necked hornbill. Anybody? Well, the red panda, correct. I'm glad the kids know it. Okay, so we all know about the panda, but India has its own very own panda. It's an incredibly cute animal, the red panda. All right. It's found, again, Sikkim, not very far from here. the snow leopard. One of my favorite animals. I fell in love with it, and I've written a book on this. It's called the Grey Ghost of the Himalayas, and I tell you, I kid you not, it's one of the most difficult animals to ever spot in the wild. It can be right in front of you, still you won't see it. It's a master of disguise. Yaks, you know, you will never find a yak in a zoo, because you bring them below 15,000 feet, there's too much oxygen in the air for them, and they can't survive. Yes, so, I mean, yesterday people who saw this, they know this bird. You know, we all talk about the peacock. Everybody is aware of the peacock, right? But here's another bird which is almost as beautiful as the peacock, if not more beautiful, the Munal pheasant, the state bird of the Himalayas. So I just showed you a few creatures to show you, you know, India has so much, and so much that we know nothing about. Cranes. There are 15 species of cranes found worldwide. All right, and 5 of them visit India. This is the black-necked crane. It actually lives in the Himalayan regions of Ladakh. And this is a crane which is found just outside Lucknow. Drive outside Lucknow, and you will see them in the fields. The Saras crane. And these cranes are loved wherever, be it in the United States, be it in Japan, be it in India, be it in any part of the world. We love these birds. You know, today, unfortunately, most children, when you talk about cranes, they think of the thing on top of buildings. They don't associate them with birds, you know. But, you know, cranes are some of the most beautiful birds in the world. The Saras crane, actually, you know, we know about the ostrich. The ostrich is the world's largest bird, but it can't fly. The Saras crane, our very own Indian crane, is the tallest bird that can actually fly. All right, the world's tallest flying bird is very much an Indian bird, the Saras crane. So this is the Siberian crane. Now, a lot has been written about the Siberian crane, and the story of the Siberian crane is very, very sad. In the 1980s, these birds would visit in their thousands to India, and they would all come to a place in India which is the bird sanctuary, a very well-known bird sanctuary. That's called Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, Kevladev. I used to go there, and I used to see these birds. By around 1990, the numbers were down to about 50. 1995, around 25. By the year 2000, they were down to 4 birds. And these 4 birds, I remember, every year we used to go to Bharatpur in those years, and I used to see them, and then in the next year, only 2 came. The year after that, they came with a baby. And the birding community of India was so happy to see that. The year after that, the baby didn't accompany them when they returned. And I was there Mazia, my wife was there, my children, we were there, and we were watching these birds, and I just felt that this was the last time, and they really didn't come after that. And so, with my own eyes, what we hear so much about extinction, I actually saw this happen. And it was very, very sad. We don't kill these birds in India. You know, they're revered, they're wonderful, beautiful birds. But along the way, on their flight path from Siberia, they pass through Afghanistan, they pass through Pakistan, they come here. In the old days, that was not a problem. But ever since the Soviets first invaded Afghanistan, since then, people have had guns. And so when they stop to rest along the riverways, they shoot them. And so that's what happened. And that's what man has been doing, and this is a clear example of what happened. And extinction is a normal process, in the sense it's a natural process. 99% of all species on Earth have gone extinct. It's a natural process, but this is what we humans are doing. And we are actually accelerating the rate of extinction. This is the IUCN, the International Union for Conservation and Nature. And they had said this a few years back. 15,000 plant and animal species face extinction. 15,000. Because of reckless human behavior, while 27 have disappeared from the wild. 27 species gone. They're never going to come back. From the mighty shark to the humble frog, mighty shark, we're talking about the great white shark, to the humble frog, the world's biodiversity is declining at unprecedented rates. And this is the truth. And 1 in 5 of the world's vertebrates are threatened with extinction. If you think of that number, it's a staggering number, 1 in 5. And you know, there have been 5 mass extinctions. That's what we've seen from our fossil records. The last one being the dinosaurs. 65 million years ago, they went extinct literally overnight, geologically speaking. They were gone. Now we believe that we're in the sixth mass extinction. And this one has got nothing to do with natural forces. This is brought on purely by us humans and our reckless behavior. And at the very bottom, the losses would have been 20% greater without conservation efforts. Now, this is the truth, and we can actually reverse what's happening. You know, if our children, if we ourselves go out and do it, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how we have reversed problems, and it's happening around the world. And that's really the silver lining out here. The children we are educating have to learn to handle this problem. It's going to be their problem. They're going to inherit it from us. And for this, you know, the truth is, if they are not aware of the natural world, if you don't know what a forest is, if you haven't seen the Siberian crane, if you haven't gone out, what is there to save for you? You live in cities. They have to be taught about the natural world. And really, as educationists here, I think that's really an important thing, that we teach them about our natural world, make them love it, to see a reason to preserve it. So just now we talk a lot about what we see on land, but we have absolutely no idea what's happening underwater, in the seas. They say 50% of the biomass of the seas have gone. It's a staggering number. You know, if you walk along India's coastline, those 8,000 kilometers, every 25 to 30 kilometers you'll find a village, a fishing village like this, with all these boats. Now, if you were a fish, and you were a little fish who lived, say, off the coast, along the coastline you have the traditional fishermen who come with their boats, and they look and they cast their nets. If you evade them and you go a little further, you got these motorized boats. And if you go further out, you got the industrial trawlers. You know, fish really don't stand a chance, and our fish stocks worldwide are disappearing. And you know, it's for fish today. When we say 50% of the biomass is gone, it's true, because in places like Florida and the U.S., they used to take a lot of photographs of these big game fish sorts. They used to go out and catch fish, and they used to pose with their fish like swordfish, etc., and other game fish. And those fish were huge. Today, when they take photographs of people going out, again, fishing, and they pose with the fish they catch, those same species, they catch them half the size. And here's a clear indication that the fish are not getting this ability to grow to that same size. They're taken out before then. And this is happening everywhere. The great athlete of the sea, this is the tuna, bluefin and yellowfin tuna. They are huge. They're really lovely fish. And I just give you an example of how I find it is impossible for them to survive, because they're so much loved. I mean, if you read about Japan and their fish auctions, and the first fish auction, one tuna like this will sell for $3 million US. So you can imagine, for that, it's gold, it's diamonds, they're sitting for you in the sea. All you got to do is catch them. And for that, they've developed the most high-tech methods, where they send out in the Mediterranean Sea, they send out these helicopters. Now, if you're a fish and you're in the sea, and there's a helicopter searching for you, they're going to find you sometime or the other. And the moment the helicopter spots a group of tuna, the moment they spot the tuna, they radio back to their boat, which is, their boat is waiting to come and catch the fish. But it's not one boat that's waiting. There's about 50, 60 boats waiting out there. And they all follow that one boat which is gone, because they know there's tuna out there. $3 million for one. All right, so they run, and they're there, they cast their nets, and they corral the fish like this, and they get them, and the next day it's available in the markets of Japan. That's the way it is. How can these fish survive if we keep on like this? Shark fins, the latest delicacy. Now Southeast Asia, we're getting money out here. Vietnam has money, India has money, but India doesn't have much shark fin. But the entire Southeast Asia, they can afford this, and they're having shark fins, just about every other day, and we're losing our sharks. And they have, in restaurants like this, they're all over the place. Anyway, this is what a coral reef looks like. It is so lovely, so beautiful. And the color of the coral comes from algae that live inside here. And the algae actually help help them eat their food, help nourish them. But the algae, if the water temperature rises beyond a certain point, and global warming is happening right now, and the seas in Australia you have the Great Barrier Reef, the world's largest living organism that can be seen from outer space. And right now, if you've been reading the newspapers, Australia has been experiencing the hottest summer it has ever experienced. And but this has actually been recorded in the last couple of years because the Great Barrier Reef, when the temperature of the coral rises beyond a certain temperature, they expel the algae. And when they expel the algae, they lose their color. And we've heard of coral bleaching, right? And this is coral bleaching. Now, this is what coral looks like, healthy coral. The moment this happens, and this happens because of high temperatures. So we're going to lose our coral reefs also, and that is pretty sure. And this is what we had, and this is what we have now. Let's give you a little better story. We know this is the whale shark. We know that whales are the largest creatures on the planet, but they're mammals, they're not fish, all right? The largest fish in the world is the whale shark. And the whale shark has been coming to India for centuries. The scientific community in India wasn't aware of this, but the fishermen were very well aware of it. They would catch it. And one day a scientist who had been sent by his good wife to buy fish, so he went there to the market, and this is in Gujarat, at a place called Porbandar. It's a fishing port in Gujarat. He went there and he saw these big chunks of fish lying there. And he asked the fisherman, what is this? He's never seen anything of this size. And they gave him the local name of the fish. And he being a scientist, he took a section of it. He sent it to Cochin, where we have our research laboratories. And they confirmed that this was a whale shark. And we got to know that whale sharks were coming to India. Every monsoon they come here. And the reason is in the warmer waters of India, they come to give birth to their babies. That's the reason they come here. But our fishermen knew about this all along. They would catch these fish and kill them. So obviously, at the rate that they were killing them, we were horrified. And so we had to come up with a way of stopping them. And so there was a group of people who got together, and they devised this method. They got in touch with the local godman. And in India, we fear local godmen. We'll do whatever they ask us to do. And he said, why don't you stage plays in each of these fishing villages? And so they would take these big trucks, drive to these fishing villages, open up the truck, put their loudspeakers, and make a big show of it. And then they would show them a play when everybody had gathered. And the play was about this mother who came to your home to give birth to her baby, and you killed her. And this message went very deep amongst all the people of the Gujarat coastline. And, and because also the godman was backing this, they don't kill them anymore. It's a true success story. They just don't kill these, and not only that, when these whale sharks are huge, and so when they're fishing for their normal fish with their nets spread out, and a whale shark gets entangled, so then it comes a decision, that net, you can either save the net or the shark. If you cut the net, the shark will go free, but if you want to preserve your net, the shark is going to die. Today they cut the nets. It's wonderful and now a lot of tourists go for tourism, whale shark tourism. And if any of you go to Gujarat in the monsoon season, you can see the whale shark. Next, please. Oh, sorry. Okay, turtles. My favorite creatures, they come to land only to lay their eggs. They lay 150 eggs. Turtles are horrible mothers. They just put the sand back and they go back into the sea. They never see these babies which are born. Lovely little things that fit in the palm of your hand. India is home to something called the Arabda. This happens only in 3 places on earth: Costa Rica, Mexico, and the beaches of Orissa. The Arabda in Spanish means the coming. And these turtles, the olive ridley turtles, there are 7 species of turtles. The olive ridley is the smallest, and it comes to the beaches of India, and they come into mass nesting. We're talking about 100,000 turtles at one time. They just come up the beaches, lay their eggs, and they go down. This is one of India's truly great natural history happenings. And then all the eggs kind of hatch at the same time, and they go to sea. But this happens on our coastline too. I'm going to quickly go through some of these pictures of Indian wildlife, flamingos. These are the wild asses of Gujarat, black buck. I'm just showing the variety of creatures we have out here. You know, we talk about, in Africa, we have everybody goes there to see the big 5, which is, you got to see the hippo, you got to see the elephant, you got to see the rhino, you got to see the lion, you got to see the cheetah. These are the big 5 which people go to see. India has the lion, okay? India used to have the cheetah. Now, most of us don't know this, but the cheetah, the Asian cheetah, which is slightly different from the African cheetah, used to roam across India. The last one was shot in 1958. Extinction. It's not ever going to come back. Okay, so we got the lion, we had the cheetah, we have the rhino, we have the elephant, we just don't have the hippo. And we also got this, which Africa doesn't have. All right? Leopards. You know, we remember Bagheera, right? So, you know, everybody says, Bagheera, Black Panther, what is a Black Panther? It's just another it's a leopard with leucoderma. It doesn't have the yellow spots, okay? And so they're just regular leopards. Okay, rhinos, wild dogs. These are great hunters. They move in packs. They cannot bark. They communicate by whistling. Elephants, Barasingha, different types of deer. And in India, we have this incredible variety of humans too, okay? The Jarawa. You might have read sometime back in the newspapers about somebody who went to the Andaman Islands to convert them. These are the same people. Do they look Indian? They look African, but they're all part of India. The people of Arunachal. Arunachal has an incredible geography of these deep valleys and high mountains which are so heavily forested that people who lived in one valley never made it to the next valley. And so this led to so many different tribes. And you have 50 separate tribes within one state out here. The Bakarwalas of Kashmir, the nomads, the Rabari of Gujarat. They don't look Indian at all. They actually live in Ladakh, and Ladakh, what they call the northern place, they call it the Changthang, and the people of Changthang are these people called the Changpa, and they speak Hindi. You can talk to them. The people of Lakshadweep, these are actually Muslims from Oman, who used to travel down to Kerala to do trade out there and come back, but these islands were in between, they got shipwrecked, and they live here. They're Indian citizens now. So all this incredible diversity, not just of geographical diversity, but also of people. And really, nobody had said English stories that much in India except Ruskin Bond. And so I decided, let me write books out here. And this is what inspired my writing. It was basically India and its beauty. So my first story was Lakshadweep. This Ranthambore adventure is about tigers. Ladakh adventure. I'm not going to go into these stories. The snow leopard. The Jarawa, I was lucky to meet them and I came out alive. I'm standing in front of you. But I wrote this book. Barren Island is home to India's only live volcano. The whole subcontinent of India doesn't have any live volcanoes. In the Andaman Islands exists Barren, and I wrote the story there. This is where I live, in the Sahyadris. I wrote these 2 books, and of late I'm writing books on birds. You know, most Indian children and adults too, the only birds they know, crows, pigeons, sparrows, maybe a myna, maybe a bulbul, you know. But, you know, India is home to 1,200 species of birds. You know, birds like hornbills, storks, ibises, cranes, pelicans, it's the whole lot. And I'm trying to, these books get kids familiar by making birds